So what we want to do today is review the various things that increase or decrease purchases, and therefore increase or decrease cost of goods sold and gross profit. Here we have three different firms, and we're going to go through each one and solve for the missing pieces, which are in yellow. So let's do firm 1. So this is basically looking at the top half of a multi-step income statement, except that this cost of goods available for sale and ending inventory, which gets down to cost of goods sold, is burst into all of its various possible impacts, the things that could have made it go up and down. So instead of cost of goods sold being one line, we get to pull back the covers and see how cost of goods sold came about. So the sales less sales returns. So this is new in the chapter, that sales might be adjusted by customers returning them, or customers asking for a price reduction after the sale because something wasn't suitable. And so these reduce sales down to net sales. So net sales would be sales less any sales adjustments, returns, allowance, or cash discounts offered and taken. So then beginning inventory is increased by purchases, decreased by purchase returns, decreased by purchase allowance, decreased by purchase discounts, and increased by transportation in. So let's just review those quickly to see what each of those are. Purchases, of course, is when you buy some from the vendor. Purchase returns is when you send some back to the vendor for whatever reason. Purchase allowances is when the vendor has reduced the price to you after the sale because something wasn't suitable. Purchase discounts is when the vendor offers you a cash discount for paying early and you take advantage of that opportunity, and so that reduces the cost of purchases to you. Transportation in is the cost of getting the items to you, which may be separately billed because the carrier that brings you the things may bill you separately. The vendor may not pay the insurance and the transportation in. So that must be added to the cost of inventory to get the whole thing. So the cost of goods available to sell would be the beginning plus what you bought, less what you returned, less price concessions, less cash discounts taken, plus transportation in. If you sold everything, this would be cost of goods sold, but you had some left over. So goods available less ending inventory will give you your cost of goods sold. Now that we have cost of goods sold and net sales, we can get gross profit, which would be net sales minus cost of goods sold. We can now calculate the gross profit percent because that's gross profit divided by sales. So you can freeze the frame and see if you can do the other two if you like. Want to have a little challenge. Otherwise we'll keep going. So for firm 2 we have net sales and we have gross sales, and so the difference would be the sales returns and allowances. So in order to get the difference we will subtract them. So there must have been 1,500. So sales minus the 1,500 gets you down to net sales. Now here we have the cost of goods available for sale, but we're missing transportation in. So the net of these plus something gives you this. Alright, let's see what it is. So let's add the things that needed to be added. Subtract these three. And we get 40,300, and we need 40,900, so we need to add 600 here in order to get to what we want. And you can prove this number by going ahead and doing the math and making sure it does work. So ending inventory would have been subtracted from the 40,900 to get down to this. So ending inventory must have been 4,000. And then gross profit percent, we would do it just like we did it for firm 1. Would be the gross profit divided by sales. And gross profit would be net sales minus cost of goods sold. Alright, if you're feeling confident, go ahead and try the last one, freeze the frame and work it, and then we'll do it together. So for firm 3, we're solving for sales. So sales minus 15,000 gave you this. So it must be those two numbers added together. And you can check the math. Is 1,000,002 minus 15,000 that number? Here we're missing a negative. So let's see what everything else added up was. Okay, so the sum of everything but purchase allowances was 781.2. We need 766.2. So that difference is, let me grab my calculator here, 781.2 minus 766.2. So 15,000 must have been the purchase allowances in order to get down to 766.2. And you can check your math to be sure that that's working. Cost of goods sold would be the cost of goods available less what was not sold. Your gross profit will be net sales minus your cost of goods sold, and then hopefully your gross profit percent is, you can check it, see if the 480 divided by the 1,185 is 40%. It's actually 40.5. Let's fix that, baby. Okay.